What is happening there, J Gamer Dude here, and unfortunately for a lot of us who are, fans of the Little Big Planet series, LBP3 had its service put down in January this year to do some maintenance, and ultimately in the end the decision was made to completely cut off the servers at its source and shut it down completely, which is really unfortunate to hear about. But it was also a sudden tweet that was made by the Little Big Planet team, and that's just while it is unfortunate that the game has shut down and those user created levels are now no longer accessible unless you've actually downloaded them to your system and they're locally available, because obviously they can't just delete levels that you yourself chose to download and host on your own system. But beyond that, any other level is now no longer accessible that was user created, and it is just the main game itself that is accessible. So if nothing else, probably the most positive thing that I could say about this whole thing is that at least the entire game is still to some extent playable, if not in its massive form that amalgamated from the build, create, share mentality that Little Big Planet was built off of. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten a new proper Little Big Planet game since Little Big Planet 3. And you might think, okay, well, there was also Sackboy's Big Adventure, but that wasn't the same as the play, create, share type of titles that we've been seeing up until now. And instead we've had Dreams, which Dreams is now pretty much barely on life support as it is. So I do actually feel for Media Molecule and the games that they're creating. What is happening here exactly? Is it possible that Media Molecule is going to be facing layoffs? Is it possible that the studio may end up shutting down? Is it possible that they might be making a Little Big Planet 4? Who knows? There is very little that we could really go about trying to figure out from all of this. I mean, Little Big Planet carding was certainly a thing, albeit that it was to compete with what was the PlayStation version? No, I mean, Little Big Planet carding was a PlayStation exclusive, but we also had Mod Nation as well back in the day. Mod Nation, where you could create your kart, you could create your racer, and you could create different types of race tracks. And there was a lot of creativity put behind it. I think the only limitation was however many different types of resources you could put on a single course. That was really the only limitation, and that was much more limited in the PSP version than it was on the PS3 version. Albeit that the trophies are also incredibly annoying to obtain in that game. But yeah, if they did something like that, that would be super cool. But I think after Dreams and the fact that that didn't take off as well as anyone would have really liked, and the fact that gaming has become, making games has become so much more expensive, so much more time consuming, and requires so many more resources that it's not even funny, especially from a studio that is owned by Sony, where there's some level of expectation there. It kind of does make me worry for Media Molecule, as they were the creative guys that did something different. And unfortunately, with the shutdown of Japan studios from a few years ago, that isn't really helping matters either. So it really does suck to see the creativity from PlayStation Studios kind of go away and then become this sort of amalgamation of the third-person action game. Not even third-person action game, but just the third-person single-player story-heavy game, and not have anything along the lines of a proper platformer. In fact, even though I say that, we still have Asobi Studio, and they also have Astrobot. Unfortunately, the last thing we got from Astrobot was a free Playroom title, which came with the PS5. But if you really think about it, we only got one real game, which was Astrobot Rescue Mission, and that was a PSVR title. I feel like Sony's going in a direction that I really don't like, and unfortunately, there is very little competition. They don't consider Nintendo to be competition, because Nintendo is really just kind of huffing their own farts and enjoying themselves in the corner while hallucinating about their old IP, effectively. And instead, Xbox is like no competition whatsoever. Xbox has miserably failed in every generation, that when PlayStation did actually get serious, midway through the PS3 generation, we had bangers after bangers after bangers after bangers. We had so many good games. Granted, we did have a lot of good games now, but the thing is that I don't actually play on my PlayStation console for the first party. I have not played God of War 2018. I have not played Horizon Zero Dawn. In fact, I think Horizon Zero Dawn onwards, I kind of just stopped caring about the PlayStation first party IP. Because it all just seemed to amalgamate into this one thing. Yes, I'm sure that the games are great and really, play. Actually, you know what? No, I did play one game after that, which was Last of Us Part 2, and that I definitely did not like. I did not enjoy that experience whatsoever. But in saying that, I have never been in a position where I'm like, I want to play every single game in a first party IP. If I'm going to play a God of War game, I'm actually going to go back and play the original trilogy. Stuff like that is what I would be playing. The PSP games, 2018 and Ragnarok, I'm sure they are exceptionally good games. They're exceptionally high quality, but they don't seem fun to play. Whereas I'm like sitting down here playing Defense Grid 2 at the moment. That's the game that I'm playing at the moment, and that is just a random, very easy but enjoyable tower defense game. I feel like indies are where I'm mostly going to be playing, and I think that it's unfortunate that the PS Vita didn't get more support either. In fact, you know what? PlayStation should just not release any more consoles unless they know they can support the damn thing, because what happened to the PS Vita was very unfortunate. What's happening to the PSVR 2 is pretty much a recreation of that, almost, except it's happening a lot quicker. Unfortunately, there are nowhere near as many first party IP on that device. In fact, there's only maybe one or two at most. And the first one I think of is Horizon Call of the Mountain. So LBP3 servers are shutting down. The creativity from Sony is now just... It hasn't even slowly been sapping away. It's gone pretty quickly after 2017. And I don't know, man. It just seems like things are not going particularly well over there. And at least if nothing else, LBP 3 or Little Big Planet 3 is still playable offline. It's just unfortunate that we won't be able to access the mini levels that are on their servers that were previously available until they were, put down for maintenance just for a little bit, but then considered to be permanently offline as of now moving forward. And all done without any warning or anything else like that. But the fact that the servers were down for about 3 months probably gave people a bit of concern to be like, okay, that's very worrying to know about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Little Big Planet 3 servers going down. The fact that Sony, in their levels of creativity, are just going down the drain and all just seems to be third-person action games. Hell, are you still playing first-party Sony titles? Because I know I've kind of, given that up a long time ago. In fact, it's been almost 7 years now at this point that I've kind of just stopped caring about their first-party output. Let me know what you guys think about that all in the comments below. Hell, I would actually like to know, but would you want, Xbox and other companies to do better so that Sony can actually start being a bit more competitive? Because I feel like a lot of PlayStation first party IP are not what I want to play, but I do want to play Stellar Blade. But that's only because Sony put the money in, but they aren't. But Stellar Blade is not a first party IP. Stellar Blade is not going to be owned by Sony. It is still under Shift Up, which is a third party developer. They're just kind of publishing it, really. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.